And then next is somebody who is eloquent in the presentation, eloquent in speech. That means more eloquent somebody is in presentation of the Dharma, then also the disciples or whoever, those who listen to also understand it better. And it could be somebody who could be very oneself very rich in knowledge, but then sometimes lacking this capacity of the eloquent presentation. Then it can also create some kind of barrier, because that knowledge that the Guru possessed in his mind cannot be well presented to the disciples, not being eloquent, not being skillful in the way of presentation. And then to be compassionate. That means whatever the Guru does or teaches or does to the disciple is done only sheerly out of compassion towards the disciple, not because of any kind of self-interest, to be respected, to be loved and respected by the disciples, or for one's own reputation or positions or anything like that, without any kind of that kind of self-interest, completely, purely out of compassion, out of a helping mind, doing it. That is also one of the indispensable qualities. And the last is the quality of tirelessness, or non-discouragement. So therefore, how long it may take or how effortsome it could be to take care of the disciple, but always be very enthusiastically one is helping the disciple, not somebody who is easily fed up and then or completely exhausted and then give up. That is also a very important quality. So those are the 10 qualities of a true spiritual guide. So if possible, all 10. At least those 5 indispensable ones must be present. And then on top of that, then Vajra Gurus and so on, then need additional qualities. And also there are 3 very important qualities that are mentioned. As Vajaguru's qualities, there are many. But 3 important ones. That is that one who helps oneself who guide oneself through or give the necessary advice and guidance to overcoming the temporary problem first. And secondly, then one who shows the guidance of the Dharma practice, or who teaches Dharma. And who also at the same time who helps the continuum of the disciple with his blessings. So these 3 are very important. That what we very often speak about precious Guru in endowing the 3 kindnesses. This is one group of 3 kindnesses. And there is still another 3 groups of 3 kindnesses which are also as the Vajaguru's quality. That is one who gives abhisheka, that means the empowerment of the tantras. Secondly, teaches the tantras. And thirdly, who also gives us the special instructions, instructions of the practice. Again, there are 3-fold kindnesses. So those are the qualities of a true spiritual guide, and there are still many others. So therefore, especially those 10 are very important. And so one has to, according to this kind of criterion, one has to analyze if a spiritual guide is worthy to be respected and trustworthy and reliable. So all those great masters, starting from the fully enlightened one himself, and all those great masters we venerate, such as great masters of India and of Tibet, like Master Atisha, Master Jetsongaba, etc., all embodiment is those qualities. Not only those qualities are complete, but double, triple times more than that are the qualities of such masters. And this is not only in the ancient time, but even in our time also. This great precious master, such as our Master Deviti Chandra Chang and our precious Master Geshe Rinpoche, those are exactly the embodiment of those qualities. So that way they have become also equally such a kind of really true spiritual guide with all the qualities and the qualifications. So therefore we are not lacking in examples. However, in our time, then these such beings have become extremely rare. They are just like stars in the daytime. Then comes situation, very odd situation like right here. Somebody, so ordinary person, full of delusions like myself, then has to take the role of Dharma teacher and sitting on a raised seat and then with big mouth talking and so on. That is very shameful. That is really not really suitable in the real sense. However, there are also certain conditions which somehow also put oneself in this kind of situation, and one takes the courage only, or the justification only, on the basis of the blessings of the Guru and the transmissions that is passed on, he having received them. And then of course one's sincere mind and try one's best as possible one can. So those are the certain qualities that maybe makes it permissible for somebody like here, like this, to take the role of that, because of particular time, particular place, and also certain conditions like the linguistic problems, many things like that. Then, but anyway, one's only courage that enable us to take in position is the blessings of the Guru, and is the transmission lineage of the Guru, and because of that, then with such a faith in one's mind, then one has to fulfill the duty. So then what becomes is, as we say in Tibet, we have a nice saying that is, when there is no rooster, then the donkey has to take in its place. So that means usually it's the rooster. If there are some rooster, they announce in the right moment at 4:30 exactly, they crow, the morning crows and so on. But in some places there's no rooster. If there are some donkeys around, they can also do some. They are also quite loud. They make like that. So therefore, where there is no rooster, then donkeys also have to replace. That's what's happening. A donkey is sitting here. Only the difference, maybe they are as loud as, maybe even the donkey is even louder. But it just makes a noise any time. There's nothing. The roosters have their precise time, and the donkeys, they can, how do you call it, donkey? There's a special name in English for making noise for the horse and donkey. There's a special name, donkey cry, not cry. Sit down. Brain. Yes. The donkey's brain. Yeah, donkey's brain anytime. Sometimes in the night, sometimes in the day, and so on. Because they are not that intelligent. It is a little bit like that. But anyway, so what is happening is donkey replacing the cocks with the blessing of the cocks. The roosters. But actually, so that is with regards to the quality of the spiritual guide. But as far as the receiving of the blessing, the benefits of the spiritual guide of the Guru, that does not depend solely on the Guru. It depends on the disciple, on the receiver also. And actually it depends more on the receiver than the giver. So therefore in the scripture it was pointed out very clearly, a true practitioner of Dharma should regard one's spiritual guide as an enlightened being, just as a Buddha. That is the way how one should see or regard. That is taught in the Vinaya, in a small vehicle. That is taught in the Bodhisattva teaching. That is also taught in the Tantra. There is no difference about this kind of view. What kind of respect that on the part of the disciple that one should have towards the spiritual guide. If one develops this kind of regard to the spiritual guide, then also the blessing, the benefit that we receive from such a spiritual guide will also be exactly same as that one received from a Buddha. This depends on the disciples. Even though from the side of the Guru is a really fully enlightened Buddha, or maybe an Arya Bodhisattva, or an ordinary Bodhisattva, whatever it is, but if the side of the disciples, the attitude that one has towards that spiritual guide, as ordinary, just simply an ordinary person, just an ordinary teacher, then even though the person itself is really fully enlightened or half enlightened or whatever, the benefit that one receives, that disciple that receives from such an object will be according to how its own view. So what one will receive or the benefit is what one can receive a benefit from an ordinary teacher. But more than that, one cannot receive it because one has exactly that view of an ordinary person, ordinary teacher, or ordinary scholar, or whatsoever. So therefore, more than that one cannot expect. So therefore, it's totally mistaken. Some contemporary, some Tibetan so-called scholar then writes something about Guru devotion, supposed to be correcting Guru devotion, and then said, all these teachings of the Lamrim, is emphasized that Guru should be seen as a Buddha. And that's absolutely not necessary, because this is only in accordance with the Tantra. But it should not, one doesn't need to apply this to in other aspects of Dharma. That's totally wrong. That's totally wrong. And this person, in support of one's assertion, quotes some scripture which is totally misunderstood. That scripture is saying there are spiritual guides who are fully enlightened. There are spiritual guides or gurus who are Arya Bodhisattvas. There are also spiritual gurus who are ordinary Bodhisattvas. There are also spiritual guides who is not even any Aryas or any beings who is not even an ordinary Bodhisattva, just an ordinary good teacher or good scholar. There are many degrees of such level. That's very true. So therefore such scholar quotes that to support his argument that actually in the teaching of Dharma generally the disciples do not have to regard the Guru as enlightened. It does not mean that at all. In every aspect of the teaching of the Dharma, in small vehicle, great vehicle, Vajrayana, not only in the Tantra, everywhere the same thing is taught. What this quotation is speaking, from the side of the Guru, there could be really somebody fully enlightened, there could be Arya Bodhisattva, there could be a Bodhisattva, there could be even ordinary good scholar. That is all possible. And that is undeniable. There are like that. That's absolutely sure. However, from the side of the disciple, how to regard one's spiritual guide, Guru, as same as the enlightened one. That is not only in the Anuttara Tantra or not only in the Tantric teaching. Even Buddha said in Vinaya, which is according to the small vehicle, there the monks asked the Buddha, how should we treat our teachers? And he said, just as you treat the enlightened one. So therefore, these are pointed out very clearly also in the Vinaya teachings up to the highest Tantra. So therefore, some contemporary scholars who totally gone astray, but thinking, I can now correct some big error, thinking that I'm wiser than all the masters of the past. That's really making a fool of oneself. But already big books are written. From the side of the spiritual guide, there could be different levels. However, from the side of the disciples, first one is to make thorough investigation who is and who is not completely suitable or not to accept as one's spiritual guide, reliable superior. That has to be done properly, and once having found such a spiritual guide, then one should apply what kind of view on it. Then one should see that such a spiritual guide, as it says here also, on the seat of the union of matter and wisdom sits the kind master who is essence of all refuges. A Buddha who is perfect abandonment wisdom is there. So therefore one should regard the spiritual guide as embodiment of all three jewels, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, all contained or is embodiment of the three jewels. That way one should see as a representative of the Buddhas, as an embodiment of the Buddhas, and of the nature of the three jewels. And that is the way one has to, the kind of view or the pure view that one should develop towards the spiritual guide. And then in this mindfulness is also combined with the visualization. So therefore one should also, when you want to practice mindfulness of the Guru, then one should visualize the Guru. And where do one place the Guru? As it says quite clearly in the verse, atop of one's head. Place of the Guru is on the crown of one's head. As we see also in many of the representations with the Buddhas, there's always another little Buddha on the top, or sometimes particular jewel is on the top and so on, that which all represents the Guru. Sometimes, very often, like Avalokiteshvara, Tara, these deities are crowned with Amitabha, little Amitabha. Or Maitreya Buddha is always crowned with Buddha Shakyamuni, sometimes in his real form or in the form of a crystal stupa. All those symbolizes the presence of the Guru atop one's own head. So therefore, that is head chakra with 1,000-petal lotus. That is the place of the Guru. Buddha Maitreya, on the head of the Buddha Maitreya is Buddha Shakyamuni in a complete form, or represented with a crystal stupa on the head of Maitreya. That is on the crown of one's head. And that is also the head chakra, and of which there is 1,000-petaled lotus. And then one can visualize just the seat of the lotus, and on top of it with moon. Or one can visualize the lotus, moon and sun in 3 seeds or 2 seeds. But anyway, it all symbolizes as it's a union of method and wisdom. If it is true, then it is the lotus is the wisdom, and the moon disk is method. The method here means the great compassion, wisdom and compassion. If one put them into 3 seeds, that the lotus is here, then again renunciation, and then on top of that the moon is compassion, and sun is wisdom. So in such I think here's 2 seeds. Anyway, on the seat of the immutable union of matter and wisdom, that means this kind of lotus and moon disk, sits then kind master, who is essence of all 3 refuges, who is the embodiment of Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. And then the question may arise, in what form the Guru should be visualized? The Guru can be visualized in various forms, but what is very suitable is visualizing the Guru in the form of the Guru of all Gurus, the Supreme Guru Buddha Shakyamuni, or in the form of the Guru Jetsongapa. Such kind of extraordinary manifestation of the Guru is very suitable to visualize, who is in essence one's own root Guru, all one's Gurus, one's root and lineage Gurus, but in the aspect of Buddha Shakyamuni or Precious Master Jetsongapa, because that's very meaningful, that's very auspicious and meaningful. So that is very, very commendable. In such forms one visualizes the Guru, who is embodiment one's direct Guru, root Gurus, as well as all the lineage Gurus, as well as Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha all together, in the form of perfect Guru Shakyamuni, as well as the perfect Guru, the ordinary Supreme Guru Jetsongapa, in such kind of forms. That makes it very auspicious and has many multiple benefits. And most of us are already doing it. Most of us are practitioner of Guru Yoga, Ganjal Hajjama. since long time and very intensively doing it, even completing many hundreds, thousands of the Guru Mantra Nityam and so on. So that's wonderful. That's very admirable. We are habituated of visualizing the Guru in the form of Jetsongapa or also Guru in the form of Buddha Shakyamuni. So exactly in such a form, such an extraordinary universal form of the Guru to visualize is very, very suitable and be a source of great blessings. So that is what is said here. A Buddha who has perfect abandonment wisdom is there. What one should, this kind of process, one should put away all thoughts of disrespectful thoughts and thoughts about defects of the false or false seeing, defect seeing. All these kind of negative thoughts and views must put aside, and one should bring one's mind in a state of deep admiration, of deep fascination with the pure visions. It's here. Make a petition with pure perception, yes, pure vision, and not letting your mind stray to some other objects of our regular mindfulness. Instead, bring it and place it within that state of admiration or fascination and respect, devotion and respect. So therefore one should apply this concentrative meditation, concentration on the presence of the Guru on one's head. When this concentration fading away, then one should apply some kind of analytical meditation for regenerating that attention of the Guru, and by thinking about the qualities and kindness and all that. When we think about these real qualities, virtues, and especially the kindness to oneself and so on, then it brings back that object, the Guru, again back into one's attention. The more we think about our family members, how good they are, how lovely they are, etc., then when we think about such things, then the idea of that family member then comes back. Then we keep it. Then again, and if it is ever fading away, then we again think about something about this person, and then this person comes back. In the same way, we visualize the Guru on top of the lotus and mundika on your head, and try to concentrate. Keep that mindfulness as long as possible. If it is fading away or something like that, then one should think about the importance of that, what it actually means to oneself, its qualities and its kindness, and all those good qualities about the Guru and its relation to oneself, and so on. And that way, that again, this kind of cherishing of the Guru, this devotion to the Guru increases, and then we can visualize again the form of the Guru. So that way one has to alternatingly concentrating and reflecting, concentrating, reflecting, and that way we have to keep our mind in the context of the Guru without letting it go out somewhere else. That form of the Guru that is visualized on top of our head should not be so large, also not too small. Too small will be difficult to see. Too large will be also uncomfortable. Maybe one feel pressing down or something like that. So it should be small one, about the size of the thumb, or that's already quite big, but about the size of the thumb, that one visualize a top. Or the maximum just finger span, like that one should visualize. And it is in the form of the Buddha Shakyamuni or Jetsongapa, a distinct form. It is not a statue, but it's a living form. But living form, but not made of flesh and bones and these kind of things. It is of the nature of light. The light of compassion and the wisdom. The material of the form is the light, and that in such a form one visualize the Guru. And this light form is imaginable if you want to think of the flames of the candles, flames of the lamp. This flame has a distinct form, but in all and all it's light, and all and all it's fire. So, but it's not like the stone, it's completely living, moving, everything. However, it is not like our body of flesh and bones, so it is a body of light, and that is usually the body of the devas are of nature of light, but this is again karmic light, ordinary light. But here this light is the light of compassion and wisdom, of the nature of compassion and wisdom, or bliss and voidness. And it is of such kind of nature in the form of the Guru, with heads and arms and everything intact, and a totally living form and compassionate form. In such a form should we visualize the Guru atop one's head. With visualization, one meditates with concentrated meditation on the form. At the same time, with contemplative meditation, you meditate on the qualities and the kindness and activities, all that special virtue of the Guru, and in particular that special kindness to oneself, and on this one should contemplate. So that is the first on the mindfulness which is mentioned here. Mindfulness of the Guru, in which you place your mind in a state of faith and devotion. So this is very, very important. I think that is the most important mindfulness. If one gets habituated with this attitude, with this mind of the being aware of the presence of the Guru, always with oneself, always above one's head, then very important practice is accomplished. It's like the very gateway, or it is the key to so many other realizations, meditations, realizations, practices, thousands practices of the deity yogas, which are so very important and really some very skillful method of attainment of enlightenment. All that is also rooted in that, and also not only that, but when that is well established in oneself, then a lot of other realizations for the sake of oneself, or to accomplish for the sake of others, all will be accomplished. That is totally guaranteed. Also, when this is shaky or this is non-existent, even though we try to make many other efforts individually for this practice or that practice, this and that meditation, all will be met with difficulties. Therefore, it is key to many other realizations.